Here we are again. Same song, different chorus. Or maybe same song, same chorus. Again, I'm seeing another day of people in the community fighting with each other and trying to say this one's this and this one's that, especially around the issues of people being frightened of the threats they're getting. Seems to boil down to a Carolyn versus Nat thing, and it doesn't have to be. I just want to encourage you to actually look at what respect is and be respectful of all people in this situation. I know Nat had, hey, Aaron. I know Nat had a really scary, awful time of it, and she is a witness. I know that Charlotte is having a just terrible time of it with the different threats and things she's getting. You know, I've been getting all the same things she gets, but I'm a lot less freaked out about it. Yeah, I'm still awake, Pippi. Can you believe that? I fell asleep on the bed earlier while I was reading. I'm reading about Bonnie and Clyde. It's pretty annoying. That's all I'm gonna say. Criminal and annoying. So I've just been thinking about respect a whole lot lately. I'm feeling a little weird. I'm gonna tell you all about that, and it has to do with respect and disrespect. Earlier in the week, I didn't get to see this except in pictures and stories that friends of mine shared. Early in the week in Tamarindo, a very old dolphin, a very old dolphin came to shore. Now, no matter what they like to tell you on Reddit, dolphins only come to the shore when they're severely injured, they're severely ill, or they're at death's door. When you see a dolphin coming to the shore, that's what's going on. You should probably call a wildlife person to take a look at the dolphin. Well, that's what happened this week in Tamarindo. The dolphin came to shore. It was obvious he was very old. He was an old guy. The surfers surrounded him. They respected him. They made sure he had water on him. And then after he passed away, they loaded him on the surfboard and they carried him to shore for our local wildlife people to take a look at him. And sure enough, like I said, he was just ancient. But they respected him. They treated him with the respect and love that he really needed to be treated with. Contrast that with yesterday for me. Yesterday, I went shopping instead of at Costa Rica's answer to Costco, which even has Kirkland brand sometimes. Price Smart. We got in line to check out, and I saw that the man in front of me had peaches, the most beautiful, delicious looking peaches. I turned to my husband and said, I'm going to get a box of peaches while you unload the cart. So I went to the cooler where the peaches are, and I'm standing there and I'm looking at the peaches, I'm looking at the nectarines. I'm trying to decide which box I'm going to take. While I'm standing there looking for maybe a minute, not even that long, an American lady, I could hear her loud voice, shouting at somebody, I'm going to get some strawberries, and shoots around me, comes around me, grabs the door handle, flips the door open, and bam, right in my face. And I'm scrambling and doing my thing because I have no balance. I literally have no balance right now. I'm paying the price today. My back is killing me. I said something to her at the time. I said, are you trying to knock me down? And she said to me, well, oh, blah, 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 blah. Started chewing me out and saying how important she was and how I was some kind of white trash and various things. And I just was like, whatever, you wouldn't understand. And I just walked away rather than fight about that. I'm kind of thinking with the KJ community and all the threats and stuff going on, we're just going to have to walk away. We're going to have to uplift the people we can uplift, like the surfers did the dolphin. And then the people that are just losing their minds and saying, well, what about this? And what about her? And what about us? We're just going to have to go, no, we're not even going there anymore. I am running out of F's to give. And every time I log in, it seems like there is a new silly fight. I don't know about you guys, but I am getting Oh, really? Thank you for saying that, Pippi. This is an old nightgown, and this is just one of those weird things. So I think we're just going to have to just try and grant some grace and forgiveness and just go on. I know I keep saying this every night, but every single day I'm coming on here and I'm seeing this whole thing go crazier and crazier. I just want to get through this in one piece and not hurt Salty's case. I'm really sorry for Nat. I hope that she is I hope she's doing better. I think Charlotte needs to get a grip. I mean, I feel bad for her too. But I'm going to say with doing NLQ, this is not my first crap rodeo with emails. I've gone through a number of these times where somebody will send a bunch of stuff. For a long time, it was the members of the new Independent Fundamentalist Baptist Church. They were sending me emails saying they were going to show up in Costa Rica and shave my head, kill me, various things. And I guess now I've just developed an attitude where anytime I get this stuff now from whoever KJ's acolytes are or whoever is doing this nonsense, the new IFB, whatever, you just have to, when you're online and when you are doing things like writing, when you're writing or you're speaking out or making videos or whatever, you're going to get some pushback. Your message is not going to fall always on thankful ears, but sometimes they're going to be going, people, oh, no, 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 no. And the best you can do is just let them have their no, 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 no. Even if they get nasty about it, you don't even have to react. You can just say, peace. Yeah. And I'm going to say this about myself. Marmaduke, you came up with a good thing. I am who I say I am. You have my real name, my real last name, my real first name. I am who I say I am. You can look back. I have a 10-year history with NLQ. I had a 3-year history with Without a Moral Center. From when I first started dealing with her on Pathos and the the chaos she was driving at that time, insisting on being praised and patted on the head. Pathos is a pretty hard drinking, hard thinking bunch that are not going to be stopping and patting anybody on the head. You show up, you do the work, they pay you. That's kind of how it works. And there's so much of life is like that. And it really doesn't do us any good to make everybody else feel bad in the process. Just keep to yourself if you can. Find your joy where you can find it, even if it's hearing the story of a bunch of surfers respecting a poor dying dolphin who's coming to the shore for his last feeling. Yeah, there's a lot of people who've come into this community that I don't have any clue who they are. They come in, they make these videos, they say these things about KJ and this person and that person, and I'm just kind of not impressed. I don't wish them ill. I just wish they would quit muddying the waters. They're just been a distraction. Everybody jumping in on the lawsuit. I'm really missing the fact that I'm fucking rocking is not does no longer has a Dropbox with all the paperwork in it. I looked forward to seeing the paperwork, particularly related to this case, and just sitting there and reading through, especially Michael Brown's insanity, and just reading through it with a jaw drop and think, does he really think that he's going to be able to get away with that? That this is what he's going to be able to do? Oh, thank you, Marmaduke. What you see with me is what you get. And sometimes it's squirrely, but it's all me. This is just how I am. This is just how I think. And it took me a long time to speak out about KJ because she just wasn't really even in my wheelhouse. I talked to her sometimes. I didn't really pay a lot of mind to her. I knew she had problematic behaviors. So I have friends like that. I had a girlfriend last night that was just spamming me, PMing me, telling me about her bathroom habits that I just did not want to hear about. And I just didn't respond much more than just, hey, yeah, whatever. like I've done to KJ, like I've done to so many people when they start pulling me into the stuff. Well, all squirrely and weird. I know that to be a fact. So we all need to just grant each other some grace about it. I've never met KJ in real life, Aaron. I had actually moved to Costa Rica by the time she came on at Pathos, and they pointed her to me to help her out if she had any questions or problems. And it was not long after I got here. They are getting clicky, and it's a club like, and it's splitting, and it's really harming the case, I think. I think when you have all these speculations and accusations, and this person's got it worse than this person, you're really creating a lot of problems. I've always liked Charlotte. I've never had any problems with her, but I know that right now there seems to be the Charlotte versus Nat click. I didn't even know who Nat was until she popped up in the paperwork. I had no idea. She was not anybody that I'd ever heard of. And like I said the other day, I mean, KJ's mods, we're probably going to see more and more of them coming out of the woodworks. I mean, and the best we can do is just kind of go, because they're going to start just doing their thing and saying what they're going to be doing. I don't know. I don't know, but I know that this is going to make the world's strangest book when this is all over. I don't know if I'm going to write it or somebody else, but so many of these stories are just have gotten so strange. Here's what I know about KJ. She likes to broader. She likes to broader the truth. She likes to have hold everybody to different standards than her. I see she has these patterns where she goes after the same people, the same types of people again. She likes the money. She's after the money. She's after the acclaim. And if she doesn't get patted on the head, then she has no use for you. That's not a very mature way to be. And that whole stupid thing about clout. Let's talk about clout. What is clout anyway? It's saying, oh, I'm going to team up with you guys. It sounds like they're playing some kind of weird game of Survivor. You've seen the television show Survivor? They've actually filmed 3 or 4 seasons near here at a place called San Juan del Sur in Nicaragua. I don't think they're filming there anymore because it has turned into a violent place there. There's all kinds of violence and problems in Nicaragua. But San Juan del Sur is absolutely beautiful. But Survivor has filmed there a bunch of times and pretended it's the wilderness. People are forming those kind of alliances and cliques and for the same silly reasons for clout so that they can game the system. And I'm just kind of sitting back going, what is this really gaining you? It's getting people some kind of emotional payoff. And that's what I'm interested in right now. What is the emotional payoff for all these people that are jumping into the thing and they're saying, oh, blah, 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 this, that. Somebody is getting something out of the deal. I mean, you could look at all of them and say they're I don't know if it's clout or if it makes them feel important or they missed that stage of their development when they were middle school where they didn't have girl gangs to hang around with. I just don't know. It just seems pretty silly. Yeah, not all of it is ill intention, and a lot of it is people for themselves. I don't think Charlotte did anything wrong either. I think she needs to grow a little harder skin because, like I said, this is not actually an unusual thing to have happen to you if you're working online. I think one of the craziest things that happened during NLQ is when Vicky and I were still friends and we were still admitting the site together and still having conversations. Is that Vicky and I got an email from some Christian group, some women's Bible study. What was funny about it was all misspelled, and it said they were praying for Vicky and I to both be struck down by uterine cancer and die because we were preaching against the whole quiverful thing. Vicky was kind of freaked out. I was like, no, I'm going to answer these people. And I said, well, then I wrote them back and said, well, you better pray that God restores us first because both of us have had total and complete hysterectomy. So it's going to be a pretty mean trick if God manages to give people who don't even have uteruses uterine cancer. You just have to laugh this stuff off. You got to laugh it off because if you don't, you're just going to drive yourself nuts. You're going to have a nervous breakdown. You're going to end up, and you've got to think that most of these people, it is a little weird. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's all a little weird. What can I say? But you're making videos at your house and calm down. You're kind of right about that. Um, I'm trying to make my content on my Costa Rican experience to help people move here. As I said earlier, or today, I'm going to have to leave Costa Rica in a few weeks because they're really pushing all of us gringos out to do all of our going back to America stuff. So I'm set up to have a good time. I booked at a fancy hotel that charging almost nothing. I'm going to get all my documents. I'm getting my final documents for refiling for residency so I can be a resident here so they can never push me out again. They can never make me leave. So I'm just going to have myself a good time. And that's basically my advice to all of you guys. You you just have a good time whatever you're doing in life. Find what it is that makes you laugh and just go for it. And try not to take any of this internet stuff too seriously. It's just not that important, particularly if you're like me doing videos at your house. It's not that important. It's just not. Oh, your son-in-law's from Costa Rica. That's pretty awesome. Has he made any really good Costa Rican food for you guys? The food here is it's pretty good. There's some things that are definitely better than others, but I was shocked to get here and discover that spicy food is not a thing. I'm Cajun. Oh my gosh, spicy food um is it's yeah, spicy food is my life's blood, and it is really amazing. Well, they're making us leave because we're still on a tourist visa. We started trying to become residents back right before COVID. And when COVID happened, a lot of these places that we needed documents from just completely shut down. So anybody who had an application in progress that wasn't completed, they hadn't filled in everything and submitted everything, Costa Rica just knocked those out and said, okay, you're all tourists, go back. Because on a tourist visa, you're required to leave every 90 days. Usually, what we do is we go up to Nicaragua, we walk across the border at this place called Penis Blancas, white penis, I guess. I don't know. We walk across the border, they stamp your passports, you walk back, they stamp your passports, and you're in life land. So you're good for another 90 days. Once a year, we'd fly back to the States and do our shopping and stuff. But most of the time, we would do the border shuffle. COVID changed everything here. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about with being in Costa Rica. It's changed everything dramatically. Um, so for the last time they had a border run requirement was like December of 2019. Since then, they've let us all stay. They kept bumping it out. Now they've decided they're no longer going to bump it out any longer, that you have to leave. But the border is closed. The border is closed. You can no longer walk across to Nicaragua. You can't walk across to Panama. The Panama and Nicaraguan land borders are closed. You must fly out. Now, I have a ton of people, friends that are flying out to Mexico City for the day and various places like that. But the rates are high there too, the COVID rates. You stand just as much chance as going back to the States. I'm going back to New Orleans, where I'm from, and I'm getting my two documents that I need at the Bureau of Vital Records in New Orleans. I'm going to get them stamped with the uh, a postal thing on the back, the international thing, while I'm watching and waiting, because that place has been closed forever and it's recently reopened the Bureau of Vital Records. And the rest of the time, I'm just going to enjoy myself in my resort hotel room. I'm going to be ordering stuff from Amazon and from various stores delivered right to the hotel so I can pack my bags and go back. Does that happen in Australia? Leave and come back while waiting for residency. As soon as I get my residency paperwork in and my FBI paperwork comes back showing that I'm not a criminal, then I can file. And the minute I file, they can't force me out any longer. As long as I am in process and all of my documents are in, then I can stop leaving Costa Rica. I don't have to go to Pinas Blancas. I don't have to walk that crazy mile between the border where it used to be scary. And there's lots of soldiers with guns on the Nicaraguan side. So that's what we're doing. And I moved here from Nicaragua. Yes, Nicaragua is a hot mess right now. I'm just going to tell you. We go to Pinas Blancas and that's it. We don't cross anywhere anymore. We went to a beautiful resort in San Juan del Sur. Sorry, called what's the name of that place? Marbella Beach Resort. It was lovely. But Nicaragua is one of the poorest places I've seen outside of like Haiti or Africa. It is really horrible poverty. And it was just very, very distressing to see people living like that far back in the almost in the Stone Ages, seeing how poverty stricken everybody was, except at the fancy resorts. 6 months later, there was some type of military action. They started shooting students at the university, started gunning them down. Since then, there's been all the Americans I know there have come here. They've run because in fear of their lives, because the Nicaraguans, the Nicaraguan army was hassling everybody, and supposedly it's still that way there. I had a friend that hitchhiked through there, a German friend. He said that people are selling family heirlooms for pennies on the dollar there. That people there's just no food, there's no money to be made, there's nothing. Tabacon, but I'm gonna tell you something. Tabacon's expensive, so when I go to Arnall, I park at Tabacon and then I walk down to the free hot springs. I don't pay the 50 or $100 that Tabacon wants for me to sit in their hot spring, their natural hot springs. I go sit in the natural hot springs with the local ticos for free. I'm just too tight for that. Thailand is someplace I'd like to go. I'm ready to go to Asia. Before I picked going back home to New Orleans, I had actually looked at see where internationally I could fly and how cheap they were, and I was really surprised. A lot of places were very inexpensive. If it weren't for the high COVID rates in San Francisco, we would have gone to San Francisco. I haven't been there in years. It's been so many years since I've been there that the last time I went there, I was a mere slip of a 20 something year old girl. And the man I've been married to for 35 years now was my boyfriend. That's how long it's been. It's just been ages. And I would love to go back. I'm so waiting for all of this to pass, this COVID. And I think that this COVID is actually um, making the whole thing with the whole KJ and the trial and the whole thing, it's just making it go crazier. People are losing their minds. I had to talk to a relative yesterday who was in what I'm calling COVID derangement syndrome. My mother has it too. I'm going to be near her in New Orleans. And I've tried to contact her and say, hey, can I stand at the end of your driveway and shout at you and wave? And I'm getting no response. I'm going to see my elderly aunts when I'm there. I have a daughter that lives in the New Orleans area who has had all of her COVID vaccines that I'm going to see. I'm so excited to see her again. I'm so excited to look at her new place. Okay, I don't know quite where that is. Pattaya. Is that it? I don't know quite where that is. We we've mostly been to Arnall, and of course the northern Pacific coast where we live. We've been down to the southern Pacific coast a few times. I want to go over to Limon sometime. That's where the big sloth sanctuary is. I haven't been there yet. Spent time in San Jose a number of times now. Um, we lived for the first 4 months we lived here in a tiny place called Cope de Dota that was in the Tarazu province. It was about an hour due south of San Jose in the high mountains. And it was getting down into like the high 40s, low 50s at night. And there was no such thing as heat in this place. It was cold during the day, it was cold at night, and I had everything I owned on. I was shivering under 5 quilts. I heard that Nuri's going to have a baby. I'm, I don't know how I feel about that yet. She looks better. Nurie Rodrigues, I guess her last name now is Keller, looks a whole lot better now that she's escaped from her mother who's got issues, Jill Rodrigues. She looks at least now, she looks happy. She looks like she's eating. Her face is filled out. She looks a lot better. I don't know how she got pregnant because obviously she was not having adequate food for years. And the starvation that some of the quiverful families do to their daughters and the lack of decent nutrition sometimes plays out. We've seen that in the Duggars. We've seen some of the Duggar girls have terrible problems having children. That I wonder if it goes back to the way they used to feed the kids when they were real little and some of the other deprivations that they put them through. It makes me wonder if it affects their fertility. I guess only time will tell with the Rodriguezes. She looks better. That's fine. I've been wanting to talk about the Rodriguezes. Jill is one of the most puzzling those kids. Sophia, I grab Sophia for feed her, comb her hair, put her in regular clothes, give her toys, let her play. Tabacon, yeah, I love their springs. That's good. That's good. That's good that you didn't have to pay. Oh, I bet I know what happened with the Quadamundi, Pippi. Did he beg you for food? Because I've had that experience at the hot springs. They come right up going, give me food. Yeah, I'm hoping that the whole Keller family takes her under their wings. I'm jumping around like a frog on a hot griddle. But hey, yeah, you got lucky with that day with the Tepicon because they tend to be hell on keeping people out if you don't have the right color wristband on. And I'm too just walk down the hill. The Quadrundi, I bet that was one thing that is kind of interesting here. They beg. They are little beggars. One of my happiest things here that I saw last night, I saw again tonight, are the bats when they come out. The bats here come out every night at nightfall, and it is the most beautiful thing. They come out and they circle and circle and circle around the pool, and they're just fascinating to watch. And that's one thing is all you can do at R&L is sit out and watch the bats when they come up. They do starve their children. I'm not sure why. I suspect it's a money thing with the Rodriguez's, and a pride thing because they don't sign up for things like food stamps. They don't sign up for any type of government help. They don't even go get the government cheese, which should be no shame in doing that. They've run from CPS from state to state several times now, and my understanding is, and every single one of them looks. Timmy Rodriguez, that his mother did not feed them. His brother Plump, she cooks. Go back and look at her pictures on her Instagram. Look at the pictures for the holidays, and you see mouse, and you're just like, oh my Lord. I think I might feed 3 people, and she's meat. I don't get it. I don't get the way that they cook, the way they live, and the moon that she's Duggar and Jason now.